Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Creative Beast Studios Beasts of the Cenozoic 1 to 35 scale Mammuthus primigenius. Let's get into it! Let's start things off with a look at the packaging. And here we start off with, warning, don't stick things in your pie hole if they don't belong there. Beasts of the Cenozoic Wildlife Action Figure. Creative Beast Studio. Posable figure. Adult collectible, ages 15 and up. There's a little sliver of a window right there that follows around to the front, 15 and up. Some nice artwork right there of the woolly beast. Very nice looking. And then we have a window here giving you a partial view of the figure and accessories. No, I don't see any accessories in there. Beasts of the Cenozoic. Not saying that it doesn't have any. You just can't see them. Or I can't see them. Mammuthus primigenius. 1/31st scale wildlife action figure. On the bottom, there's the credits. Do not force stiff joints. Apply low heat for full range of movement. Go to Creative Beasts, creative-beast.com for more product and info. Symbols I'm not going to learn except for that one. Don't give it to babies. And then copyright stuff. Creative Beast Studio, from the prehistoric to the fantastic. Item number, barcode, made in China print. So on this side, the window comes around, and you got a little bit of a line around the window as well. Some jungle looking stuff, I guess. No, maybe it's topographical. I can't really tell what it is. Mammuthus primigenius, 1/35th scale beast of the Cenozoic. And you guys don't know how hard it is not to say beast of the Mesozoic. Beast of the Cenozoic Mammuthus primigenius, 1/35th scale. And then moving right along finally to the back, Mammuthus primigenius collectible card inside Beasts of the Cenozoic. And there's a nice product shot, and that looks really cool. And then here's some information. If you want to pause it right here and read all that text, please feel free to do so. And then moving right along, there's some more information. And again, if you want to pause it right here and read that, you certainly can. And then 1/35th scale wildlife action figure, also available at the cross sale. The 1/18th mammoth, the 1/18th mammoth calf, the 1/18th, whatever his name, Andrew Schwarz. And the 1/12th Smilodon Populator. Creative Beast Studio, from the prehistoric to the fantastic. And there you have it, my friends. A look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and the accessories. And first up, we have the card, and it's got some great artwork on it of the woolly mammoth, Beast of the Cenozoic down here. On the back, Beast of the Cenozoic, a nice practical shot of the figure right here. Mammuthus primigenius, I think I got it right that time, woolly mammoth. And there's some stats on it if you want to pause it right here and read those. There's some credits, creative-beast.com, and copyrighted stuff. So that's the card. Next up, it does have alternate sets of tusks. And the second set, it's a left and a right, and they're a little bit different. I think these spread out rather than go in like the ones that's on it. So there's a left and a right of those, and they're, you know, other than the sides they go on, they're pretty much the same. So there's a little bit of molded detail in there, and I'm not seeing much wash or anything like that to stand it out, but it does have a nice bony kind of color to it. And again, like I said, they're both the same other than the sides, and it does tell you that it's the right number 2, and this one tells you that it's the left number 2. And then it has a broken set of tusks, and here's the left one. It tells you it's L left number 3, and again, same thing applies as the other ones, except it's got, you know, it's broken on the end, and it does have some nice detail in there, and it looks like there might be a little wash in there as well. And then here is the right, and it tells you it's right number 3, and again, broke on the end there, and nice molded details. And again, there could be a wash right there just to kind of help that brokenness stand out. Now let's take a look at the figure itself, and you can see he's got right number 1 and left number 1 tusks in there already. And overall, the sculpt, it's a nice fur sculpt, and it does look like there's some like dry brush up here. It looks like there may be some other stuff going on as well. It's just I don't see a lot of it going on, and it could just be I'm not seeing it. But there is some nice dry brushing up here on the top of the head and the hump of the back, I guess. And then look at that eye. Looks really, really good. Same on the other side. He kind of looks droopy and sleepy, but I wouldn't count on it. So let's talk about his articulation real quick. And he does have several pieces of articulation in the trunk, and I'm gonna pull the tusks off just to help us look at the articulation. It makes it a little bit easier. So at the trunk, it actually, all the segments go down that far. This last piece here is bendy wire. I say bendy wire, you know what it is when I say bendy wire. If you don't, then I don't know how to explain it. It's plastic with a wire over it, and it's flexible. So it you know, okay, that piece doesn't straighten out too well, but you get a little bit of bend in that bendy wire stuff. This piece goes up and down that far. The next piece goes up that far and down that far, and then this top piece here, it goes down that far and up that far. So in conjunction, they all go up that far, so that's really good. Also, it has a hinged jaw, and you know, it's very elephant looking, like I guess it should be. And then there's some paint stuff going on inside there, although it's not as much as like the beasts of the Mesozoic, where the inside of the mouth has like that glossy finish to give it a wet look. At the head, there's, well, this is like a collar piece around here, so I'm not sure exactly what all's going on there. I'm sure it's like a dumbbell of some kind, or a ball joint, half dumbbell. So it'll shift up and down slightly, not really a whole lot. So the head will tilt up that far, it'll tilt down that far, and it will turn left and right a pretty good bit. Now the ears are also articulated. They go in and out. They will also tilt, and they will go 360 degrees, although I don't know of any creature like this that could flip his ear all the way 360 degrees. But you know, that's just me. I'm not that big on actual scientific stuff, I guess. So at the shoulders, it's a half dumbbell, or at the front shoulders. So the legs will spread apart that far, and they will actually cross. So that's pretty good. And you can hear it's tight. And I did heat this joker up. So the leg will, with the difficulty, go around 360 degrees. At this first knee, it will bend forward that far. And it'll actually go back a little bit too. Actually a good bit. So it goes back that far. And there seems to be, it feels like a shift in here, but I don't know. I don't think it is in the shoulder. So at the second articulation point, it will go back about that far, and it goes forward about that far. And at the ankle, that's as forward, that's as far forward as it goes. And then that ankle joint goes back that far, and it does have some rocker, so that's good. And then at the hind legs, they spread apart that far, so he can't give you the full splits, but he can give you some of it. And it does rotate the full 360 degrees there. Now I forgot to mention this. This is a hinge and swivel on this one and this one, and they will swivel around. This one also, and it does swivel around all the way 360 degrees. And I just heated this joker up, and it's already stiff again. So the joint goes forward that far, and okay, that loosened up a little bit, and it'll bend back that far. And I think the range on the ankle here is about the same. So, well, no, it gets a little forward tilt more than the front, and then not quite as much to the back. And it has rocker as well. In fact, I want to say, yeah, it's a half dumbbell in there, I think. Could be a full dumbbell. I think it's half dumbbell. So there is that. And then finally, the last piece of articulation is the tail. And it lifts up that high, and it pushes down that low, and it will rotate 360 degrees for fly swatting action. Now, as far as putting the tusks back in, you just make sure your numbers are right. And you can only put, like, the left sides are all a certain kind of peg, and then the right sides are a certain kind of peg. So you can't peg the right ones in the left port, and vice versa. I always appreciate that, because I'll be there probably even still trying to put the wrong one in the wrong place, and, well, you know. So there you have it, my friends. A look at the figure and the accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Creative Beast Studio Beasts of the Cenozoic 1/35 scale Mammuthus primigenius with the Creative Beast Studio Beasts of the Mesozoic 1/18 scale Diabloceratops nestlings, and the Creative Beast Studio Beasts of the Cenozoic 1/18 scale Mammuthus primigenius calf. Here we have Creative Beast Studio, Beasts of the Cenozoic, 1/35 scale, Mammuthus primigenius, with the Harbinger Studios, Savage Crucible, Creatures of the Crucible, Komodo Dragon Blind Box, Frost Vein Stalker, and the Marvel Legends series, Zabu Build-A-Figure Waves, Zabu Build-A-Figure, and the Marvel Legends series, Zabu Build-A-Figure Waves, Kazar. For our last set of comparisons, here we have Creative Beast Studio, Beasts of the Cenozoic, 1/35 scale, Mammuthus primigenius, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee. From G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. From Star Wars The Black series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final ramblings on the Creative Beast Studio, Beasts of the Cenozoic Mammuthus primigenius, Woolly Mammoth, 1/35 scale action figure. I have to say this is a smaller scale than anything else in my collection. I have a lot of 1/18 scale, 3 3/4 Star Wars stuff. Most of the Transformers stuff I have on display is approximate 1/32 scale. Jada, toys, cars that I have are 1/32 scale. And then most everything else in my collection is 1/12 scale or 1/10 scale, which is 6-inch and 7-inch scale respectively. So this is much smaller, a much smaller scale than what I'm usually looking at. Even when I look at this stuff, the Creative Beast Studio stuff that's 1/18 scale, is generally smaller than stuff I'm currently getting. But I do find at the 1/18 scale, you can kind of fudge it in for stuff. And so that works for me. The 1/35 scale, again, I have nothing else in that scale, so I don't have anything else to really put it with. It's hard to fudge it in a display with other stuff because of the smaller size of it. So, but that's all on me because I told my wife to get the smaller one rather than the larger one. I should have told her to go ahead and get the 1/18 scale one. But like a doofus, I told her to get the 1/35 scale. And, you know, that's on me. I do accept my complicity in that. Now, as far as the actual workings and stuff of this figure, I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's quite as good as the 1/18 scale stuff, but I can't compare it apples and oranges because I don't have the 1/18 scale Woolly Mammoth, or my wife didn't get it. So, you know, I can't really compare the two, but from my past experience with the Beasts line and the Cyberzoic stuff, this scale seems to be lacking a little bit in the deco department, in my opinion. Now, you know, it could just be it doesn't really need that much because, you know, it's brown and woolly, and that's mostly what it is. But I've come to expect from Creative Beast Studio a high level of not just sculpted detail, but paint deco too, or just deco period. Now the eyes on this one look really good, and that's a deco point. It's got what looks like a dry brush on the top of the head and the nape of the neck, and that looks really good. And then the toes are painted on it. The tusks may have paint on it. I don't know. It's probably molded in that kind of bone white color that you see on it. Oh, and a deco hit. There's a deco hit inside the mouth, but not the glossy finish that we're used to from this company. So I don't know if it's just the fact of the scale of it that it's not getting as many deco hits, or if that's just the way that they did it, period. You know, even on the larger scaled 1/18 scale mammoth. So I don't know. Again, like I said, I can't really compare it to that one because I don't have it. So I can only talk about this one. So as far as the deco, the amount of deco goes on this one, it's a little, I don't want to say disappointing, but yeah, I guess it is kind of disappointing because I do expect a high level of paint or deco hits on Creative Beast stuff, and this one just doesn't have it. And again, I don't know if it's just the scale or whatever. Maybe that's what it is, and maybe the larger one has more hits on it. I don't know. I'm sure at some point I will make sure my wife gets the larger one because I think she really wants it to go. She got the calf as well, and I know she really wants those to pair together. So, but and all that said, I don't want anyone to come away from this review feeling like this is a bad figure. It's not a bad figure. There are just things about it which, to me personally, I find out of place for this company, and that's the lack of deco. The sculpt is really good. The range of movement on the animal itself is pretty much what I would expect from a Creative Beast Studio figure. I do like the fact that we get extra tusks, and so you can give it a different look, even broken tusks. The bendy wire in the trunk, I'm sure it solves all kinds of problems, but for anyone who follows my channel and watches my stuff regularly, especially any stuff with bendy wire, you know I'm not a super big fan of it. I understand why it's used, but I'm just not personally a fan of it because over time, even if you don't move it and stuff, that type of plastic, or at least my experience with it, is that type of plastic tends to break and crack over time, and that's just the nature of the material. So, and I don't know, I mean, since I was a kid, it may have changed. The material may be better, but, and as far as modern stuff with bendy wire in it, I haven't seen any issues. I haven't had any issues. It's just what I remember from having bendy wire stuff when I was a kid, and those experiences made me not a fan of bendy wire. So that's me. That's not necessarily you. Your mileage, of course, may vary. So like I said, this is the range of movement, and the sculpt on this thing is pretty much on par with what you expect from Creative Beast Studio. It's just, for me, the lack of deco on this one is a bit of a letdown. And again, I don't know if it's because of the scale or that's just how they're doing the mammoth period. And as it's coming back around, there may be a little bit of a wash on the head, like on the front, or it could be a little bit more of that dry brush from the top. So, and then there may be some more on the face as well, but it's just not showing like I would like it to. So maybe that's on me and doesn't have anything to do with Creative Beast Studio. Maybe I'm just too demanding. Also, it could be the light shining on it making it look that way, but so you can watch this video, you can make up your own mind. about it. I think the larger scaled version probably would have been a better way to go. It can fudge into displays a little bit easier than this one. For this one, for all of my stuff, it'd have to be something way off in the distance. But again, the way I take, the way I do photography with my action figures, it's all green screen just like this for the most part, and so I can make adjustments as needed. But Creative Beast, you're not doing bad, but do better on decos on smaller stuff. I don't know, there may be some cost issue with that. I don't know. All I can tell you is what I see from looking at it, holding it in my hand, and it doesn't feel like the deco apps are as prevalent on this figure as most of the other things that I've looked at from this company. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.